This is my Sequential Circuits corner, so to speak. I have a Prophet P08, a Prophet Rev 2. These are pretty new machines, and this one is a Prophet 600, so this is an original old Prophet, and this was like the little brother, more affordable, the Prophet 5. It uses the same chips in there, apart from the processor, which is a Zilog Z80, really slow. You hear that when you like dial in the parameters, you hear the steps. There's an add-on which is called a Teensy board, which gets rid of that, but I had that in for a while and I decided to take the modification back and just have the synth as it is. And it really sounds fantastic, and I use it for string sounds and really warm pads like this one. Now mind you, this is not going through an effect apart from some reverb. But the rest of the synth is just, that's the way it sounds. And it has this little keypad here, which you use to dial in the different programs. This is also the piece which tends to fail, but these rubber switches are still all very good. They're still good and functioning, so it's easy to change sounds. Beautiful machine, very, very warm sounding. I need some tuning from time to time. There's a tune button which you have to press, and then it tunes all the oscillators. It has 6 oscillators, so it's 6 voices, 2 oscillators each. And yeah, it's a beautiful machine, very nice. Needs some care from time to time. But otherwise, again, a very underrated synth. And if you look at it for it on eBay, it's much cheaper, much cheaper than a Prophet 5, obviously. And up here I said this is the Prophet 08, which also has a massive pads and string sounds in it. And it has a sequencer in it, which I never use because I have so many other sequencers. But it's a nice sounding machine. Touch sensitive keyboard as well. What I don't like about it, it's for live. It doesn't have preset buttons, so you literally have to select the bank and the sound you want to have with these dials. And you can only get around this if you use a MIDI controller and switch the sounds using a MIDI controller where you might have programmed these things. I don't know why Dave Smith did it that way. The Rev 2 is exactly the same. So for live, it's not really easy to use. The new Prophet 5 obviously has the buttons again. The original Prophet 5 had it. This one has the keypad. It's also fairly easy to remember which sound you want to use. So I don't know why it is the way it is, but as I said, it has very interesting sounds in there, like called T8 strings, and so on and so forth. Super versatile. Lots of dials, a lot of things you can do with it. Good machine. So these are the two Prophets I have. And then over here, I have a Prophet Rev 2, as said, 10 voice. This one has 8, is an 8 voice machine, 6 voice machine. And then over here I have a Moog Opus 3, which is a very, very old string machine from Moog. And it sounds really like these typical old string machines you probably know from the 70s and 80s. And I get to those in a second. So here is the sequential Prophet Rev 2. It's called sequential again, whereas the P08, which I showed you before, was still called Dave Smith Instruments. And then the owner of the name Sequential, which obviously was Yamaha, because they kind of bought the assets from Sequential Circuits, including the name, when Dave Smith worked there. So they released the name Sequential back to Dave Smith, so he can now call his instruments again Sequential Circuits, or his company. Small anecdote here. So this is again a super versatile synth. It has built-in effects. It has a super versatile modulation matrix. It has 4 LFOs, keyboard split. It has a super cool filter which you can switch between 2-pole and 4-pole. It has envelope generator with a decay, with a delay. Really cool machine. And as I said, you can split it or you can stack the sounds. I use it for all sorts of different things, but here I have a little sequence programmed, and the Tangerine Dream fans might recognize that. These kind of things. Super cool. It has 2 different sequencers. It has a gated kind of step sequencer, and they have a sequencer which you call a poly sequencer, which gives you a different way of programming the sequences. Really cool machine. I really like it. Also, the polyphony is higher there on the P08. It's a cool little machine. Yeah, also built very well with wooden side panels and a metal chassis, so it's probably gonna last forever. Yeah, and down here is Moog's try of creating a string synth, a polyphonic string synth. And it's what it is. I mean, it has an organ section, you don't even want to know. It has a string section, it has a brass section, and you can change the release and attack and sustain on these things. Of course, it's only one filter, so it re-triggers. And has a chorus, built-in chorus. But if you combine the organ and the brass and the strings together, you get a typical 70s string sound kind of feeling. I run this, by the way, through a Moog chorus and a phaser. So this is then how it sounds. Brings back memories to Jean-Michel Jarre's Oxygen, for example, even though he used a completely different string ensemble for that, but they kind of tried to go into this market with the Opus 3. I don't think that it was very successful. It is what it is. It's a kind of a string brass organ machine. And I never really change the sound. I just leave it as it is because it gives you this spacey kind of strange string sound. It's, for what I'm doing, it's good. Has a lot of hum and noise and stuff, so it's running through a noise gate. Otherwise, it would be constantly creating some strange noises. But hey, yeah, this is what I use in terms of keyboards. And the next thing I'm going to show you is how this all goes into Logic.